Hi, welcome to Ocean Jerry. Yes, what I'm doing, I'm reloading this Britannia one. Um, I feel it's important that everybody hears. The reason why I keep putting it and reloading it and reloading it, 'cause I feel it's important that everybody hear the amount of money that's been made on the migrants. And yes, there is a lot of taunting going on right now. There's a lot of taunting. The migrants, some migrants are taunting, bragging, all sorts of stuff. And in a way that I don't know whether it might it affects my argument, but they shouldn't do it. They shouldn't taunt people. They shouldn't do none of that because you're there for a reason. You're there to stir stuff in England. You're there to stir stuff in England. People want a reason, especially the far right, they want a reason to say these people are coming in and we are not getting work, or we're not doing this, or we're not doing that. But when the information from the that is given about the Britannia, when you see that how there's a reason for everything, that's why I said there's a lot of propaganda going around. There's a lot of propaganda and there's a lot of funny business going around because it's like they're trying to start something and you're just like, can you not see the bigger picture? And I feel some people ain't seen the bigger picture to this. Um, they're not seeing the bigger picture to this. And it's kind of scary. It's scary. It's mad and scary times all at the same time because that means that how you don't have an understanding of how everything works. The other day, the prime minister came out and they rushed him, right? And they were saying to him, "Oh, you done this and you done that and you done this and you done A, B, C, D, da, 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 da." But that's how they work. They work hand in hand together. They work hand in hand together. Okay, so as much as I am talking about the Bigo stuff, there is other stuff that I deal. There's other stuff that I deal with, and this is one of them. And the reason why I keep reloading is because I want people to actually literally understand the deepness of this thing. Yeah, right. Everything is set up for a reason, right? They like when they saw them going through the back with the coach with the migrants coming to the hotels, right? They're saying, "Oh yeah, it's to cause war. They're like the army. They're like the this, the this, the this, the this." Right? They are setting it up so that they can be some type. They've always wanted a race war over here. I know that for sure. They always wanted a race war over here. They always want something to happen over here. There's Islamophobia starting up again, and it's like there's something is trying to be stirred. They're trying to stir it up for quite a while. And now people are literally going up to anybody in the street, anybody, I said anybody, in the street, and they are saying to them, do you speak English? So if they don't speak very good English, or they have a little bit of a dialect, they said, what are you doing here? Are you in one of the hotels? Are you in this? A university student got approached, right? Just doing this normal thing. So what is happening? There's a heightening of racism. So the reason why I'm playing the Britannia Hotel, I put it I put it on the video, but it seems like when I do certain topics, it's always when I'm talking about Bigo and Velvet and blah de blah. But when I'm talking about these ones, because what is happening when something takes seed and it grows a whole heap of stuff. It's like a huge thing happens. That's why I always refer to Rwanda, because they're genocides at the end of the day. And when you stir up something, and you stir it and stir it and stir it till the pot gets hot, till it bubbles over. Something's bound to happen. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to play this video again. I don't know. This is the second time I third time I spoke about deportation, migration. I even spoke about my grandmother being a migrant. She migrated from Trinidad to come over here to do nursing. So some of people, when they come over, they are real people who actually come over and they enhance stuff, or they work, or they train, they do certain stuff. Like I said, I've been in colleges and places where like migrants are literally trying to learn a skill and all sorts of things. So the ones that is either in and then that got taken away. They was going to Rwanda. Something happened, that didn't work out. Now what they're doing, they're putting them in the hotels. There's just a stir, because when they were on the outskirts of Dover, it was fine. As soon as they come inland, now there's something. But like I said, but now what I'm finding out, the Britannia hotels are soon going to close down anyway. They're going to go into liquidation. So basically, you're fighting for nothing. At the end of the day, you're fighting for nothing. This hotel was rated the worst hotel in London. I'm going to find the reviews and I'm going to put it up on my post. Don't just listen to the stuff I do on Bigo and Velveeta and other stuff. There's other stuff that I talk about. Don't listen to only just the stuff that I talk about when I talk about Jasmine. There's other stuff. These are the things that really comes into certain people's lives, because when hatred is at a level, right, like I will say, the reason why I can't started because you to show country and stuff like that. When you look at the old videos of the old carnivals and you see there's odd white faces there and stuff like that, mind you, they had already in their mind the type of people who they thought West Indian was, or who blacks was, and all these sort of things. The videos are online. You can literally find them. I've found enough of them. The only reason why I can't project them, because YouTube is funny and you can't project certain stuff on YouTube. They have an idea of certain things. Some, like I always said, some white people have traveled and they've been around the country. Some white people, when they do travel, they keep to themselves. Right now, in Spain, there's a bit of a thing going on where who's this now? The Spanish is telling the people to come out of Spain. So it's kind of like what's going on here, basically. But the Britannia Hotel is going into liquidation, okay? Okay, so I'm not going to talk because, it's holidays and stuff. Okay, let me play my video. Hi, Amma. You schedule something, and it's like
2025, around 100 hotels across the UK were in use by the Home Office to house asylum seekers, including over 360 in England alone. Cite Search 6 Sun. At its peak, the number reached nearly 395 hotels in early 2023. Since then, closures and shared room policies have brought the figure down. Cite Search 6, Search 1, Search 2. Home Office data suggests by early 2025, fewer than 210 hotels remain in use, all with a plan to phase them out by the end of Parliament. Cite News,
They're going to phase them out anyway. Hold on, let me see, because it must be loud. Hold on. They're going to phase out the hotels anyway. So you're fighting a losing battle. You're fighting a losing battle. Okay? I don't think, because of the prices of the hotel, it's not the working classes that goes into that hotel. It's very much rich people because even Phoenix, when she went to check how much it will be in euro, and she saw how much it was in euro will be 300 euros to go into that hotel. It's not a cheap hotel, but there's a reason why it's going into liquidation. So this is why they're housing the migrants. And I feel that's the same with the other hotels too. There's either going into liquidations or whatever's happening. So that's probably why they decide to place them into the hotels. So people need to think, once again, need to think a little logically, but I'm going to play the rest. Hold on.
News 13 turned search 8 on. So hundreds of hotels, ranging from around 400 at peak to roughly 200 to 380 in mid-2025, have been involved in asylum accommodation. History of Britannia hotels. Company background. Founded in 1976 with the purchase of a small hotel in South Manchester, Britannia Hotels expanded rapidly over the late 1970s, 1990s under founder Alex Langsam, worth circa £401 million in 2025. Tormern's site listed into a 363-room 6 turn search 24. Growth continued with acquisitions such as Sasha's Hotel in Manchester, 1987, the International Hotel in Canary Wharf, opened in 1992, and numerous other regional properties through the 2000s and 2010s. Swart, site turn search 24 on. In 2014, Britannia began entering contracts with the Home Office seeker accommodation under the government's contingency housing.
So that one in Canary Wharf was built in 2014. You see? But let me see if I can get it back up on the screen again. Because, you know, it's good to know the history of the Britannia Hotel itself. Like being one of those days where like you schedule something and it's like the tiniest comes and takes
Seekers. As of June 2025, around 380 hotels across the UK were in use by the Home Office to house asylum seekers, including over 360 in England alone. Site turn search 6 Sun. At its peak, the number reached nearly 395 hotels in early 2023. Since then, closures and shared room policies have brought the figure down. Site turn search 6, turn search 1, turn search 2. Since 2014. With nearly £40 million pre-tax profit reported for 2023 alone. Site turn news 18 turns earned server and search 7 turns search 7 24 at specific properties. Britannia International Hotel, Canary Wharf. One central site repeatedly used for asylum housing, particularly controversial during protests in affluent London neighborhoods. Site turn news 22 turn news 4 on. Sasha's Hotel, Manchester. Originally a C&A department store converted in 1987, it now has 223 rooms.
So it was a C&A's as well. I feel like I'm just now listening to this again properly now. See, so it's a converted space that was a shop. Then it converted into a hotel.
And previous 4-star classification, but has seen minimal investment since, typical of many Britannia properties. Site turn search 28 turn search 24. Summary table topic key insight early 2026. Number of hotels 395 at peak, 380 in mid-2025, fewer than 210 active by early 2026. Britannia's origins. Founded 1976, numerous acquisitions over decades, key Manchester sites, asylum housing contracts, active since 2014, major home office provider. Over 150 million pounds profit from a.
So what that's telling me that how while they've been putting in their papers so that they can find out where they can stay in the country, they were staying in these hotels anyway for a while, for a long time. So basically, people are looking for stuff to basically kick off about when they're actually been there from 2014, somewhere abouts.
Asylum housing since 2014. Bars, 40 million pounds in 2023 alone. She takeaways. Hundreds of hotels, mainly in England, have been used to house asylum seekers. Britannia Hotels is a major contractor involved since around 2014, operating a wide portfolio of budget hotels, some historic and repurposed from older structures. Its asylum-related contracts have significantly boosted its profits in recent years. While no specific evidence exists of illegal payments or individuals profiting beyond the hotel company itself, criticism continues over the use of public funds for profit-making operations. Let me know if you'd like more details on specific hotels, financial records, or the.
So I thought I wasn't gonna go any deeper because you already answered my question already, right? There is a lot of investors. There's investors. Obviously, the government is investing, so it's making money from the hotels, right? But obviously, it's not going into the right places here, i.e., homeless veterans, schools, community spaces, and other spaces. So basically, which is what I thought in the first place. When I heard this, I thought, oh my gosh, I was right. They definitely confirmed. That's why I did a post on the amount that the hotel was making from the asylum. They're basically making money off of their heads. Basically, that's what they're doing in a nutshell. Um, um, basically they said how they were there for the children's sake and stuff like that. But even when I'm looking up that even matches the whole argument as well. So they're basically fighting for something cost of living crisis going on. There's a cost of living crisis going on over here. There's inflation everywhere. Nobody's going to be able to go into the hotels anyway at the prices that they are. It's only the rich is going to be able to go in there. People like the people in parliament and all that. I don't think is, or maybe middle class, maybe, or maybe upper class, but not the working class people. So there is another one that I might have to bring up as well concerning asylum seekers, but you need to actually leave comments underneath these videos because I believe that has a knock-on effect from America and why people are stirring up like this. Yes, I did put a video of asylum seeker bragging. Why? Because it's important that the other side of the argument needs to be said because they are literally doing stuff in front of faces. Now, the ones long time ago that came over, for like my grandmother's time, others' time, they literally graft and graft and graft, and they try to get into spaces and certain stuff, and they weren't even allowed to do that. They literally had to go into houses where all of them would live in one space. They wasn't offered no hotel. They wasn't offered. There's offered train stations. What's that places when the bomb falls on it? I forgot what's it called. They had to be in those spaces. They wasn't given spaces like hotels and that, right? Most of them, if they had a career in something, right, they will be in a house full of people who's nurses, doctors, you know, that's how it was. So when you're hearing of these hotels and stuff like that, they literally was doing it from 2014 while the Home Office was processing people's papers, right? So it's not just now. The only reason why it's come out now about that because reform and certain peoples are out here making noise and stuff like that. So they are basically protesting because now they want to make Britain great, right? And you know where that make Britain great thing come from already? That's why I said it's a knock-on effect. So yeah, this is why I'm reloading this because it's important to hear the amount of money that they are making on them, right? So even when it does go into liquidation, the person, whoever it is going to still have a profit. They're still going to have money. They're still going to have profit. They're still going to make money. So, you know, yeah, that's all I want to say. That's why I put it on a live space because I see is people will interact more, and this is one part of my deportation playlist. I think it is. I'm trying to make a playlist just specifically for this because it runs quite deep, and the uproar that the people's doing, well, even questioning people's status. I need to find the one with the guy who speaks about the Windrush. I put is short of the guy who speaks about the Windrush. He's actually biracial and he explains it all. And he himself is even saying, so which part do I go then? Which part, where do I go? You know what I mean? Like, it's coming very strange over here. It's coming very strange, right? Every time I pick up the social, I think when you go outside, like they don't want to sit next door to you. They rather stand up. It's going back to them days. It's really really strange over here, right about now. So I thought I'll put up the Britannia Hotel again I think this is the third time, and please leave a comment underneath it because I'm more wide awake now. Please leave a comment underneath it. Don't just like the Bigo stuff. Don't just like the mummy stuff, right? Don't just like the stuff when I talk about people's. These things are important, and to me, the reason why I bring it to the YouTube because I want to show people these things are actually happening. People, yes, America has a knock-on effect on every country. It's not just its own country. It has a knock-on effect on every country because that means that how people start mimicking what they see in America, right? People can't even go to China. They're taking pictures of them. Before it was all right. Nobody was bothered. Now they're taking pictures of them and being weird. And it's like it's sad because we got children coming up who might want to explore the world. You know, people out to marry, however, you know, and what is them children? Don't forget those children. They can't choose to be white or whatever if they have a look to them. So you know, it's a very sketchy topic. It's a very sketchy topic, okay? But yeah, so I just thought I'd bring this. Thank you, Amma, for coming through. Please leave a comment underneath the video. I know you lot don't like to talk politics, but it is part of Ocean Mirror's topics. Apart from talking about Citizen and Velveeta and whatever, there is a lot of stuff going on. There's even one I'm even scared to even bring that one forward because of the situation. You know, I have to talk about most things, and this is one of it. So yeah, please leave a comment underneath it. That's why I made sure I enhanced the voice and made so you can hear it clearly because it was a bit muffled. So you can hear it more clearer. You can hear the amount of money they're making off of the people then. And it still said it's gonna close anyway. So you're fighting a losing battle. Let it go. Let it go. It's gonna go soon. I can't remember when it said. I gotta look it up again and I'll put it in the comments because it said it's gonna go into liquidation. Like Woolworths, CNAs, a few others, Blockbusters. Have a listen and then tell me. Hi, Phoenix. I just played. Do you want me to play it again, Phoenix? Because people wasn't commenting underneath this video. I don't understand. When I do deportation, they don't seem to like it. They don't seem to want to talk about it. If I'm talking about Velveeta, I'm talking about Amari, I'm talking about this one. Like they will comment underneath it. Yeah, I'll play it again. Hold on, let me put myself on mute.
To house asylum seekers, including over 360 in England alone. Cite turn search 6 Sun. At its peak, the number reached nearly 395 hotels in early 2023. Since then, closures and shared room policies have brought the figure down. Cite turn search 6, turn search 1, turn search 2. Home Office data suggests by early 2025, fewer than 210 hotels remain in use, all with a plan to phase them out by the end of Parliament. Cite turn news, Fort turn news, 13 turn search, 8 on. So hundreds of hotels, ranging from around 400 at peak to roughly 200 to 380 in mid-2025, have been involved in asylum accommodation. History of Britannia hotels. Company background. Founded in 1976 with the purchase of a small hotel in South Manchester, Britannia Hotels expanded rapidly over the late 1970s, 1990s under founder Alex Langsam, worth circa £401 million in 2025. Tornern's Cite and Cern Search, a turn search 24. The flagship Manchester Hotel is located in the former Watts Warehouse, a grade 2-star listed Victorian site converted in 1982 into a 363-room hotel. Cite Search 26, Turn Search 24. Growth continued with acquisitions such as Sasha's Hotel in Manchester. 1987, the International Hotel in Canary Wharf opened in 1992, and numerous other regional properties through the 2000s and 2010s. Swart, Cite Turn Search 24 Mon. Role in asylum accommodation. Since around 2014, Britannia Hotels began entering contracts with the Home Office to provide asylum seeker accommodation under the government's contingency housing strategy. Cite Turn Search 24, Turn Search 7. These contracts contributed to significant profits. Britannia earned over £150 million from asylum contracts since 2014, with nearly £40 million pre-tax profit reported for 2023 alone. Cite Turn News 18, Turn Search 7, Turn Search 7, 24F. Specific properties. Britannia International Hotel, Canary Wharf. One central site repeatedly used for asylum housing, particularly controversial during protests in affluent London neighborhoods. Cite Turn News 22, Turn News 4 on. Sasha's Hotel, Manchester. Originally a CNA department store converted in 1987, it now has 223 rooms and previous 4-star classification, but has seen minimal investment since, typical of many Britannia properties. Cite Turn Search 28, Turn Search 24. Summary table, topic, key insight, early 2026. Number of hotels, 395 at peak, 380 in mid-2025, fewer than 210 active by early 2026. Britannia's origins. Founded 1976, numerous acquisitions over decades, key Manchester sites, asylum housing contracts, active since 2014, major Home Office provider. Over £150 million profit from asylum housing since 2014. Farce, £40 million in 2023 alone. She takeaways. Hundreds of hotels, mainly in England, have been used to house asylum seekers. Britannia Hotels is a major contractor involved since around 2014, operating a wide portfolio of budget hotels, some historic and repurposed from older structures. Its asylum-related contracts have significantly boosted its profits in recent years. While no specific evidence exists of illegal payments or individuals profiting beyond the hotel company itself, criticism continues over the use of public funds for profit-making operations. Let me know if you'd like more details on specific hotels, financial records, or the evolving.
Well, I didn't go as far as checking out their financial stuff, but what I just did as that's talking, I went and I looked up because it did say it was going into liquidation, right? So it said the Britannia Building Society, which is merged into the cooperative bank in the late 2000s. Britannia Hotels is an ongoing budget hotel chain operating across the UK. Britannia Bulk PLC, Britannia Limited, which are all different. Oh, okay, hold on. Let me just specify. Let me just specify so you can tell me if it's going into liquidation. Okay. It says no signs of liquidation, but it did tell me before that there is liquidation. But it has 64 properties operating profitably. So it's making money as of its latest reports. So it's making money still. Let me see if it's going into liquidation. So it makes me a liar. So the Britannia Country House Hotel Limited entered a members' voluntary liquidation on the 14th of December 2016 and was due to dissolve on the 11th of March 2025. But before it told me it was going to go into liquidation, it said it was going to close. Now it's changed its tune. Those are pretty fancy accommodations for asylum seekers. Yes, they are. They are. But it's like they've been doing it under radar for a long time. It's only because of certain stuff what's going on here. Why people's just now clocked that how they're in there now, bringing them in buses and stuff like that. But they was in the BB ship. They were supposed to go to Rwanda, and that got stopped. And now they put them in the hotels, which doesn't make no sense whatsoever, because it is causing controversy right now. Even though the people, they might not get a chance to use that hotel, right? Because when I researched it before, they said they were going into liquidation. It was going to close, right? Sooner or later, they were going to close. They got quite a few hotels that houses the asylum seekers anyway. But when you put them in comfort, it's not a good. I'm not saying don't put them in comfort. When you put them in, at least put them somewhere comfortable. Because that's why I used the Windrush as an example. The Windrush people, they had them in tunnels, Clapham train stations. They had them in houses. When it was doctors, nurses, whatever, when they came over here to train to be like, especially if they trained to become doctors and nurses, they put them up in the houses. They weren't in boarding houses. They was in like houses, and they shared these houses. The examples are all on screens, and they're all on archives. They're all archives and everything. So basically, like how it looks, it just looks like they're trying to start something up. You're trying to start something up. You're trying to start a war. You're trying to make problems. There was one, I put a video of a asylum seeker bragging. No, it wasn't to spark fire, because that's what he's doing. Even there was one that every hotel he went to, or wherever they put him, he was filming it and he's telling others to come over. right now England is going through a cost of living is crazy. Some things has been shut down, some things has been taken away. A lot of people are suffering. There's like veterans. I would say they need to take care of the veterans. Yes, take care of your veterans. Take care of the old people. Yes, you need to do that. Take care of the young people. Yes, you need to do that. But don't just give something to someone who has to wait for the Home Office for a variety for a period of time for their papers to come true, right? Which I feel that's what was going on in America as well with the ICE thing. Some of them was going through Home Office trying to get their citizenship, and and because of that they were caught while they were trying to do it. But yes, it is a mighty. It's a very expensive thing. But like I said before, like I can confirm, it was a confirmation to me that how like there was money being exchanged. There's a big exchange going on. One hand rob another kind of situation. Because obviously they got to get paid for the people that's in the place. You can't house them freely. So, and it's been happening from 2014. It's only just now people's clocking and they're going on like it's something new. But yeah, I just thought I'll put it up because I don't know why people is not looking at all my videos. They don't seem to want to go backwards. They always stay forwards. You know, and the channel's a lot bigger than Bigo and Real Vita and their shenanigans, right? I like talking about them, but I like talking about other stuff too, you know, because it's a knock-on effect. It causes something. It's like you throw a pebble in the ocean and it ripples and it ripple and ripple, and then a big wave comes. That's what's happening. They provide food as well, right? Yeah, they provide food inside of the hotel. A person went in there and you see them eating. I'm not putting up all the reason why I don't put up all the videos of it, because I know that because it's a short, it will go places and people will use them. I was reading how they are getting their motorbikes to work. Well, most of them are Uber drivers and stuff. Uber drivers, delivery drivers, and all that. Maybe they're doing that. Maybe they're doing that so they can work. But like you say, it causes controversy over here, right? Which I've always thought to myself that how if you're gonna do something while people is waiting for papers and stuff to go through, it doesn't have to be flashy, it doesn't have to be expensive or whatever. So that hotel, how it's about £70 a night per night. So that's a lot of money that's going in. That's a lot of money that should be going into other places. The send the homeless, like Ringo Vision. I'm with Ringo Vision on certain stuff because the money is not going in the right places, even when they're feeding the homeless as well. Right, it's sandwiches and stuff like that. They're not getting fed properly. They're not getting housed properly. Ringo the other day had to go and get a bucket for a man to wash his hand, wash his foot, and everything else. The money needs to go into the right education, all sorts of things. Yes, that is what the article said for the delivery. They should do the same for their citizens. Yes, they should. I don't know why they're not doing it for the citizens. That's why they're mad about it. That's why they're mad, and it most likely looks like the racists will get into power because of the movements, right? What's going on. The other day, the prime minister was booed at. He got booed at, and all that because they feel like they've been shortchanged, right? But at the same time, you shouldn't approach somebody and ask them whatever. There was university students sitting down and they got approached very aggressively, and he said to them, where are you? Where you staying at? I bet you're at that hotel. They're university students. They're not even staying at the hotel. So what he's doing is causing problems. It's causing problems. And now there's strange things happening as well, where like a man walked into a woman's house. Like, you know, it's getting weird. It's getting weird. Literally, it's getting weird. So, you know, it's crazy. But yeah, that's why I thought I'd bring it back to, let's bring us back to the topic at hand. Right? Because I can put up the videos of the man bragging. I can do that. Right? But then it's gonna be like when I put up Citizen and they start and they're saying they call them a dirty Muslim or something. And I was thinking, when that's a whole different, it's got nothing to do with what's going on here. That short had nothing to do with what's going on here. It was to do with whatever, you know, but that's, which means that the short can fall into different places. You don't know where the short's gonna go. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I just thought I'd bring this anyway, you know what I mean, Phoenix, because it is a conversation to be had. It's a conversation to be had. Anybody who's come from parents who has migrated to a country or whatever, and then you're seeing these things going on. To me, there's a lot of different people that come over here to tourism. A lot of tourism that happens over here. Now, if that gets slowed down, then what's going to happen next? The country's going to dry up because tourism is their bread and butter. They need the hotels. They need hotels. You need bed and breakfast. You need Airbnbs. You need all that. Yeah, hold on. Wait a minute. Right? You know. Yeah, that's okay. But I'm going to come off anyway, right? So, with that said, I'm going to leave it right here. I'm not even going to prolong it. I think I made my point. Thank you, Amma, for coming through. And please tell me in the comments what you think, and I'll see you in the next one. Okay? So Phoenix, when you come back, you can talk about it in the comments. So I'll see you later. Take care. Bye. Let me turn them up.